Hey, hotel hoppers, and welcome to another episode. Today, we are giving you a practical guideline on another Thai topic, and this is applying for Sandbox. What is a Sandbox? It's a way to get into the Kingdom of Thailand without doing the quarantine. It's meant for the ones that are vaccinated, and currently, you can do it in Phuket, Phnananga, and Samui. Probably it will be expanded to other provinces in coming months as well. But anyway, the application procedures should be similar, and we're going to have a practical look into how to apply for the Sandbox Thailand Pass, which is giving you the right to arrive in the Kingdom of Thailand. But let's get it started. As the step number one would be going to the website of Thailand Pass, which is tp.consular.go.th. And on the website, you see like this. It has Thai part of the page and for the non-Thai part in English. Let's zoom in. And let me fade myself a bit. So it says the Thailand Pass page, important information in English or in Thai, but most likely you would be doing it in English. And then you would have three options. So they use the same Thailand Pass page for Test and Go, which currently is suspended, but will be relaunched soon in February. We'll be making a separate video on that. Today we are focusing on the Sandbox program. They call it the Blue Zone Sandbox, the one in the middle. And then there is also for non-vaccinated travelers an option to do alternative quarantine in hotels. But let's focus on the Sandbox today. This, as of today's 22nd of January, this is the easiest way to get into Kingdom of Thailand. So what are the conditions? You can travel from any country or territory, and the main requirement is that you have to stay in the Sandbox area for 7 days before being able to travel to other parts of Thailand. And currently, if you click here, you can see that the Sandbox areas are Krabi, Phnananga, Phuket, and islands of Suratani, which means Koh Samui, and some other neighboring areas over there. In order to be able to use the Sandbox, you have to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19, no less than 14 days before traveling. And well, in practical sense, you have to apply for the Sandbox already having your vaccination certificates, so you have to have those prior to make this application. Then you would need to also have a prepaid booking at the Sharp Extra Plus hotel. There is a list of the hotels on the website. You can have a closer look. There are really many. I think most of the hotels that are open in Phuket would be Sharp Extra Plus, but you should have a closer look if they have that certification. For example, most international brands like Hilton or Marriott's in Phuket, they do have that. And then before entering the Kingdom of Thailand, you would also need to obtain the negative COVID-19 test, which is done using the PCR RT method, and it has to be issued 72 hours before the first flight of your ticket. And the result has to be negative or not detected. And if it's positive, then there are some other conditions like proof of recovery at least 14 days before. What else do you need? A passport, Thai visa, if this is applicable for you, certificates of vaccination, and the prepaid hotel certificate for 7 nights minimum, and also insurance, travel insurance that covers COVID-19. and with a minimum coverage of 50,000 US dollars equivalent. And you have to kind of have it in all digital. So let's click next, and on the next page we see that Thailand Pass, there are like terms and conditions, basically saying, for example, that this 0.5 is applicable for the Sandbox program, that you will be really every single night at that accommodation on a daily basis. You are reporting there. You're not going anywhere. We have had issues with some people trying to sneak away from the hotel and then being chased down. And you will have the daily temperature checks in practice, and you are guaranteed that you don't leave the sandbox area before the 7 days are over. And yeah, if you stay more than 7 days, you can go to other parts of Thailand like Bangkok or Chiang Mai, for example. But let's click here and confirm. And then this is the first of the many steps you have to fill in. So purpose of your arrival. For most visitors on tourism, you should pick here travel, and where you take parting from. Let's say you're coming from, let's say, Austria. And then you have to pick what is the airport you're flying in. Popular one, even though it kind of allows you to select Bangkok, it's only in condition if you have connecting flights. So if you look here, it's like domestic transit is allowed in Thailand only if you're flying into Suvarnabhumi airport in Bangkok, and then you have also a connecting ticket operated as a special flight by Bangkok Airways. The flight numbers PG5 and then the other numbers. Likewise, you can use the Bangkok transit to get to Koh Samui as well. But let's say you've arrived directly to Phuket, and then the flight number, for example, you're flying in Finnair flight, then it would be the Alpha Yankee 151. You have to select your date of arrival. Let's say you're doing it in February, 22nd February, for example. And then they are also asking, when do you plan to depart? So, for example, that you stay just for a week your holiday, so leaving. I mean, it's not fixed. You can change the flights. Or even stay longer. There is another video you can watch, which we recently did, how you can also extend your stay if you want to, for example, stay more than 30 days. Usually this is the visa-free arrival is 30 days, but you can extend for another 30 days by paying 1,900 baht, or on the top of that 30 days. Currently they also allow extensions of 60, which is called COVID-19 extension, for another 1,900 baht. I will put the link for that other instruction video somewhere on the screen later. But let's take to the next step. So another terms and conditions, you acknowledge that you're truthful and so on. The first page is covering the personal information. So let's say you are Mr. The first name in English, Tester, and the family name Tester. I have to put in something for being able to move to the next step. So I have to put something here. If you're currently coming from Austria, then it should be Austrian. Date of birth, let's say somebody born in 23rd of November. So tester at test.com tester. So here you need to upload your passport picture, and one important thing to know is like, what is the format? So they are showing you what is accepted and what is not. You can also take pictures with your phone maybe, but if you can have an access to scanner, it's, I think, easier, it's better to read that out, more legible, and then you can put like this clearly visible and cropped data page here, and you can select what's your passport type. Let's say ordinary passport, I have no idea what's the numbering in Austria, but let's say 80 and some numbers, and browse a file. So let's take, I just put currently like one file I got in the internet, sandboxing. And on the next step of the Thailand Pass, they are asking your vaccination details. So you have to basically select here what kind of vaccine did you get. They are listing the vaccines that they are accepting. For example, AstraZeneca, Pfizer BioNTech, Sinopharm, Sputnik 5, Moderna, Janssen, and so on. Let's say that you got a single shot of Janssen vaccine last year in November, and then you would need to again have a scan in if it's in digital form. But what is really important, that all the documents they support along with the passport are supported only in JPEG or PNG, and they have to be smaller than 5 megabytes. So let's use the same image here. I don't have the QR code, but if you're coming from Europe and from other countries where they have like the centrally supported QR code system, that would be really nice, because then you can tick over here and put the QR code, and this has to be really like crisp and legible. So for example, in Europe where you have the digital certificates, you can do a good screenshot. You just drop in the QR code and you drop here, and actually they have an API that is checking if the QR code is valid. So as I'm currently like in test run, I can't use it because I don't have a testing QR code, but if you have a QR code, that's a great idea. Just put it there, and in that sense, the Thailand Pass could be approved almost instantly. Next step is covering your accommodation info. So it's showing that in case of Sandbox, you should have the hotel confirmation for 7-night stay, and including the fee of 2 RT-PCR tests. In reality, while in Bangkok, for example, they were selling packages of the hotel together with the test. In Phuket, the tests have to be bought separately. We are going to do another video on that, but this is like they give a link here which takes you to the website, which I will show in a separate video, but basically prepay for your tests. You select like you put where do you want to get it done. The second test is they have like different centers in Phuket. You can select one testing center close to your hotel, so it'll be easy. But yeah, you say that you booked through a SHA Plus, SHA Extra Plus hotel in Phuket, and then you see that there is like a long list of hotels that are participating in the system. Okay, let's say that you are in Echo Guesthouse, and it's already pre-populating the address. Put the booking ID, duration of your stay. Now, this is already like, you know, we said that we are arriving in 21st of February, I think, or was it 22nd? And then you have the PCR test receipt number, and let's say that was 222 as well. And then you have to upload the confirmation that you get from the hotel. Now, the funny thing or conflicting thing here is that they only accept JPEG and PNG documents. So often hotels are giving you the confirmation in PDF file. So you would need to do a kind of screenshot of that PDF file when it's nicely widely open, and then using the clipping tool, save it as an image, and then you can drag and drop that image over here. I would put again the same one, but it's basically that thing. Then they also asking what's your permanent address. So test 1 and Austria, for example. Overseas telephone number. So if you're planning to be Austrian, it should be something. Tester 2, and again like So the details of the person. I mean, why they ask? It's very practical. Maybe something serious happens, and then they can know how to follow up. It could be maybe your relatives back home or somebody. And then we click next. Now the next screen is asking details about your medical insurance. It asks the policy number. For example, it could be some AXA policy or whatever that is. You have to make sure that it covers COVID-19, that it also has a coverage more than $50,000 equivalent, that it's valid for the stay here in Thailand. It should be valid earlier than your trip, of course, or exactly the day you're flying out. And then again, well, this is sometimes the tricky part, because the insurance documents can be long, and this again accepts only JPEG or PNG. So you have to somehow screenshot, or sometimes even do several screenshots and then combine into one bigger screenshot of your policy document, where all the essential details are shown: the policy number, the coverage, the dates, and that it also covers for COVID. You have to list other countries that you will be visiting or transiting 14 days before. And then this place is where you can also upload the receipt. In case of Phuket, you will get the special PDF receipt, like as a proof that you have prepaid for those 2 tests. And then you can upload this over here. And this is the place where you can do the PDF uploads if requested. And then if everything is done, you hit submit, and you will get the confirmation number, and also that confirmation number goes to your email. And it would take, if you have the QR codes, if you're coming from Europe and if you do have the QR codes, application processing can be really fast. I mean, the QR codes of your European vaccination certificate, I have seen how the approvals can come in just a few minutes. Otherwise, it can take up to 7 working days. And that's something they have to again consider, that you're applying for this Thailand Pass at least a week before, or even better, 2 weeks before your trip. So they would have the processing time. And once it's approved, you would get a PDF to your email, which you can print out. I would even advise, just in case, print out 2 copies. Sometimes, Thailand loves paperwork, and maybe something happens to one paper, that at least you have also the backup copy. But this is pretty much covering the process. So essential, I think, is to have all the documents kind of nicely scanned in. The passport, data page, if you have vaccination certificates on the paper, nicely scan them in. If they are digital, convert them to PNG or JPEG files. Also, the hotel confirmation should be JPEG or PNG. If you have vaccination certificate QR code, again, take a good scan, or if it's a digital, good screenshot, cropping it out. And if all this is done, also the insurance documents, yes, also in the nice PNG or JPEG file, and put it all together, load it in, and then hopefully soon you'll be enjoying Thailand as well. And yeah, if you have any extra questions regarding the sandbox, let me know. I have been doing it myself. I did it in September. Then it was actually longer, but it's a fun way to get in. You just have to wait. I mean, once you arrive at the airport, you go through the immigration and get your suitcase, do first tests. Then you would go directly to the hotel, and you would need to wait until the outcome of the first test is known. And if it's negative, then yeah, you can roam around in Phuket and enjoy. And then on the 5th day, you would do the second test. and then after a week, if you want to go to other areas of Thailand, that's possible. But thank you for watching. If you need also inspiration where to stay in Phuket or other places, we have been doing a lot of hotel reviews in Thailand, so check out the other reviews in our channel. And if you have some questions, put it in the comments below. Happy to get you back. And hopefully you will be enjoying your stay in Thailand quite soon. Thank you for watching, and see you soon again in a new episode.